Today, I will be talking about how US presidents have influenced the way Americans see immigrants. We hear a lot of talk about illegal immigration in the news, but we don't always realize how much the words of presidents can really sway public opinion, for better or for worse. Before we dive in, I'll give you a quick overview of what I'll be speaking about today. The president's words often become the national script, and those words tend to shape real-life experiences for immigrants living here today. I'll show you what I mean through 4 examples: Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump. Then I will be speaking about each president's policies and how they have impacted immigration. Reagan's words and actions made a lot of Americans think positively about immigration. He linked immigrants to ideas of opportunity and growth, saying that they made the country stronger. For families getting amnesty, it really changed their day-to-day lives. Children were able to go to school without fear, and people could find work without worrying about being arrested. In the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan, a Republican, actually talked about immigration in a surprisingly positive way. In his last speech as president, Reagan called America a nation forever young, forever bursting with energy and new ideas, thanks to the immigrants who came here. He outright said that building walls was not the answer, and he signed a law in 1986 that actually gave legal status to millions of undocumented immigrants, most of whom were Latino. He called it amnesty, and for those families, this meant a new chance at life without fear. Fast forward to President George W. Bush in the 2000s. Bush, also a Republican, tried to keep that positive framing going. He argued that bringing in immigrants made America richer and more dynamic. Bush and Senator John McCain even pushed for a bipartisan law that would have legalized millions of undocumented immigrants. But the country was already starting to feel more divided, and their efforts failed just by a few votes. A quote from Bush himself that demonstrates his feelings towards immigrants is, "Immigration is not a problem. It's a sign that our country is strong and confident." For some Americans, hearing this gave them a sense of pride about being a country of immigrants. For immigrant communities themselves, it meant hope for real change. In 2010, Barack Obama, a Democrat, tried to find a middle ground with some conflicting policies. He protected young immigrants by creating DACA, letting dreamers stay in the US if they were brought here as kids. But at the same time, Obama's administration also deported more people than any other president before him. This meant that immigrants could only stay if they fit certain requirements. For immigrants, this meant more anxiety than anything. Families could be protected one day and deported the next. Then there's Donald Trump, whose rhetoric turned out sharply negative. Throughout both of his campaigns, Trump outright called immigrants criminals and threatened to build a wall, while spreading racially motivated and stereotypical rhetoric to the public. This kind of language, blaming immigrants for crime or economic problems, had real consequences. Hate crimes spiked, families were separated at the border, and many immigrants felt afraid just going about their daily lives. Trump's words painted immigrants as dangerous outsiders. He didn't just make laws, he influenced the public's feelings towards immigrants, making them out to be people who we should fear. For example, after his anti-immigration speeches, nearly 4 in 10 immigrant adults said they felt that they were treated worse in everyday life. That's not just politics, that's classmates, neighbors, and co-workers feeling less than safe and more isolated in their daily life within the US. So why does all this matter? Well, when presidents talk about immigrants, they're not just making speeches. Those words seep deep into the culture and policies that impact the lives of real people. They can make people feel welcomed or rejected. When the language gets harsh and negative, immigrants face more discrimination and even violence. Public opinion shifts, laws get tougher, and even lives get uprooted and disrupted. So next time you hear a president talk about immigrants, take a moment to think, whose story is being told, and how might that story change the life of someone you know?